welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are jumping into some source material that, well, it promises a lot, specifically for you if you happen to be a Gemini.
That's right. We're looking at a super specific astrological forecast for the year 2026. And this isn't, your typical newspaper horoscope.
Not at all.
The sources we've got detail these really complex planetary shifts, house placements, and they claim 2026 is going to be a year of, well, radical self-transformation, tangible financial reward.
And the big one, the arrival of a capital S soulmate.
Exactly, the arrival of a soulmate.
The stakes here feel incredibly high. I mean, these are massive claims, and they all seem to hinge on just a few key celestial events lining up perfectly.
It's like the cosmic deck is stacked in your favor, according to this.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Okay.
Our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to analyze the specifics of this alleged self-transformation.
Right.
Then we'll figure out the exact planetary blueprint for this promised wealth and map out the surprisingly detailed instructions for this full connection.
And to really get it, you have to start with the foundation. Because apparently nothing else can happen until this first big shift is complete.
And that transformation is all tied to Uranus. The source says Uranus is entering Gemini, and it calls this specific phase in 2026 the awakening. That just sounds seismic, not a gentle evolution.
It is meant to be seismic. I mean, Uranus is the planet of sudden, shocking change, of freedom. It only transits your own sign once every, 84 years?
Wow.
So when it does, it's basically demanding you break free from who you used to be.
So the awakening isn't just about feeling a little different, it's disruption first. The source says it results in you becoming a completely new version of yourself.
Yes.
But what does that actually look like? Are we talking about quitting your job, moving across the country?
It could be all of that. The sources really imply a necessary upheaval. If you felt stuck in a routine, a job, a relationship pattern, Uranus just kind of blasts that away.
So it's less of an upgrade and more of a complete system reboot.
That's a great way to put it. It's rewriting your fundamental operating system. And that takes a lot of courage.
And what's fascinating is how the source immediately connects this inner turmoil to an outer reward. It says once you embrace this new, authentic you become a magnet for new people.
Exactly. That self-development piece is the non-negotiable prerequisite. You have to do the identity overhaul before the universe delivers on the other stuff.
So no skipping ahead.
No skipping ahead. The universe is basically saying, stop playing small. Show us who you really are now.
It's a high-pressure setup. Accept the chaos, find the authentic self, and then everything else follows.
And that sets the stage perfectly for the next big prediction, because once this new confident self is there, apparently it's time for the reward.
Okay, let's talk about the money.
Let's talk about how this transformation translates into wealth.
Right. So the source gives us a great lead in here. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and, luck, it starts 2026 in Gemini.
And that starting position is so crucial. Jupiter in your own sign is like a massive confidence booster shot. It makes you optimistic, makes you believe your big ideas are actually possible.
You start the year feeling like you can do anything.
Anything.
But, believing in an idea isn't quite the same as paying the rent with it. Where does the actual material wealth come from?
This is where the transit gets really precise. And honestly, this is where it gets really interesting. The major event happens in May 2026.
Okay.
Jupiter moves out of Gemini and into the sign of Cancer.
And for a Gemini, Jupiter in Cancer means it is landing squarely in your second house of money.
Precisely. And the second house isn't just about your paycheck. It's about resources, assets, self-worth, security, all that tangible stuff.
So when Jupiter, the great expander, moves in there,
The sources describe it as huge for tangible wealth.
that's a strong claim. So how does it work? Is this like a lottery win, or is it something you build?
The emphasis is all on building and manifesting. Because Jupiter moves from an intellectual air sign, Gemini, to a stable, nurturing water sign, Cancer.
So it goes from idea to reality.
Exactly. The abstract confidence boost turns into material security. The source is specific. You're taking those big ideas from the start of the year and you're grounding them, making them real.
So we're talking about things like starting a business that actually takes off, or maybe investing in property, real assets.
Yes. Turning those big ideas into cold, hard cash, or things you can rely on for long-term security.
It's a very practical flow. You have to apply the confidence you gain.
It connects the personal transformation to the material reward perfectly. The new you is also the financially successful you.
Which brings us to the headline promise. The soulmate is finally here. A new identity and financial stability are great, but the source promises a detailed map to a real, mature connection.
Yeah, and the love story here is really interesting. It relies on a pretty complex blend of energies. We're talking about the Saturn and Neptune conjunction.
Right. And that happens in Aries. For a Gemini, that falls in the 11th house.
The 11th house of hopes, dreams, goals, and your social networks.
Which, interesting. That's not the typical house for romance, right? That's usually the 5th or the 7th. This changes the whole definition of soulmate.
It absolutely does. The source says this conjunction means a long-term dream, often a romantic one, is finally materializing. But because it's in the 11th house,
The connection comes through a friend or a group.
a friend, a social gathering, maybe a professional network, it's a relationship that's built on shared ideals and mutual goals, not just, initial chemistry.
But hang on. You've got Saturn, which is all about structure, commitment, reality checks. And then you have Neptune, which is dreams, idealism, but also illusion.
Yeah.
How does the source guarantee that's a mature connection and not just some dreamy thing that evaporates?
That is the critical question. And the source addresses it by saying that Saturn provides the container for Neptune's dreams. It structures the idealism. So you're building a shared future together, but it's one with practical foundations.
So this soulmate could be someone you already know. Maybe a friend you suddenly see differently.
Or someone you meet at a conference or a group project. The dynamic is specifically described as a friends to lovers scenario or a serious power couple vibe.
And Saturn's presence means you're done with the superficial stuff.
Completely done. The source says you are done with superficial dating. You want someone who can build a future with you, who shares that new vision you found during your Uranus awakening.
The universe is raising the bar.
It is. The door is wide open for a profound soul connection, and settling for anything less is basically discouraged.
Okay, so that covers the big three promises: the new self, the new cash flow, the mature love.
Yeah.
But the source also includes some really important advice on how to navigate all this, right?
Absolutely. Because all this growth needs to be managed, we have to look at the nodal axis placement.
Which is all about balancing our destiny and our comfort zone.
Right. In 2026, the North Node, your destiny point, is in Pisces, which for you is in the 10th house of career and public reputation.
Okay, so destiny is pulling me towards public success.
While the South Node, your comfort zone, is in Virgo, in the 4th house of home, family, and your private life.
That sounds like a major source of tension right there.
Oh!
Hold between public life and private life.
It's a huge theme for the year. With all the success promised by Jupiter, there's a real risk of neglecting your home, your emotional foundation. You have to actively work to balance both.
So that's a year-long challenge.
Yeah.
Then there's a more specific one scheduled for the summer.
Yes. Mars retrograde.
A planet of action and drive, going backwards.
In Leo, which for Gemini lands right in the 3rd house.
Oh, the house of communication. Siblings, contracts, daily interactions.
Exactly. So Mars retrograde here can mean communication gets messy, friction increases. The source is very clear. Be extremely careful with your words during this time.
So texts, emails, quick conversations could all blow up.
They could easily spiral into arguments. But there's another side to it.
Okay.
This transit also gives you the courage and the sort of force to finally say what you really feel. Speak your truth.
So it forces those difficult conversations you've been avoiding.
It absolutely does. It's like the universe is forcing you to do some essential house cleaning in your communications and your local environment.
Okay, so if we put it all together, what's the big picture? We start with radical change, move to wealth, find mature love, but then have to balance our public and private lives and learn to communicate authentically.
The fundamental theme for 2026 is stabilization and maturity. It's about genuine self-actualization. The new version of you is authentic, financially grounded, and ready for a real future.
So you have to grow up to handle all the good fortune that's supposedly coming your way.
That's it. To recap, 2026 is promised to deliver this profound self-transformation from Uranus, huge opportunities for wealth from Jupiter, and then mature, long-term love from that Saturn-Neptune conjunction. The universe is supposedly backing you all the way.
You know, regardless of whether you follow astrology, the structure of that narrative is just.
Yeah.
It's incredibly compelling. Self-work and confidence first, then the wealth opportunity, and only then maturity for love. The beautiful story of success built on authenticity.
It's a blueprint for self-mastery. But this does raise one last sort of provocative thought for you to consider. If 2026 is truly about stabilization and growth, which is driven by your own effort, like managing that nodal tension and meeting Saturn's demands, Does your effort to stabilize your own life trigger the materialization of the dreams in the soulmate? Or is the timing purely driven by the planet?
So in 2026, which comes first?
Yeah.
The work or the stars?